managers who used to be drivers, they follow back on the stuff they're comfortable with. Instead of calling people out, they don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation, but necessary conversation.
Some people are like, oh, I can do 300. They're constantly covering all your route. That's a good manager?
That's a good driver, but it's not a good manager. Hey guys, if you're FedEx contractors and you cannot take a vacation for a week or two with your family without leaving your business, you're doing something wrong. And one of the things I've seen over the years that contractors have managers who are just ex-drivers that know how to deliver 200 or 300 stops, and that's why they're managers. They kind of yes men, like a people's pleasers. They're not really managing your business. One of the things I suggest you do is you develop leaders. So how do you do that? You have them shadow you and see how you analyze and problem solve issues and what kind of things you do. So that way they're going to learn from you how to analyze things, how to do critical thinking, how to take leadership and answer to FedEx and employees. So that way when you are deserving a vacation with your family, they can take charge. What do you think, Vas?
Training somebody being a great manager is completely opposite of delivering and being a great driver. Because what I've seen, most of drivers become managers, which is good. But when they become managers, they have to learn completely new skill than driving. Because some people are like, oh, I can do 300. They're constantly covering all your routes. Would you say that's a good manager?
That's a good driver, but it's not a good manager.
The manager that covers all the routes constantly and your ILS percentage is 100%. To me, a good manager that under him, there's more managers become like a problem solver. When FedEx calls, they're able to resolve issues, accidents. There's things that you just can't foresee, and then you have to be able to come out from certain situations.
Yeah, I agree with you. So the leaders is how many leaders you've created, not how many followers. I agree with you. But a lot of times managers who used to be drivers, and like you said, it's most of the managers at FedEx world, is that they follow back on the stuff they're comfortable with. So instead of calling people out, hey, little John, you brought 80 packages back, what happened? They don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation, but necessary conversation. They don't say anything. And then basically that person just walks all over, then we have to fire them, and they go back delivering and then training a new person. So they go back to the comfortable zone of delivery versus if you would actually manage the business right, you wouldn't be on the truck all the time. And I tell them all the time that. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this video. I want to talk about a really good tool that I use daily called fleetwage.com. It helps me calculate payroll for my 165 drivers that I have across 6 terminals and 12 CSAs. It does it in less than a minute. It also helps me write the drivers up. It helps me to look over my expense per stop, track my fuel. It's a dashboard that I use daily and I recommend over 100 contractors and counting using it today. Check it out, fleetwage.com. Back to the video.
What are the top 5 things that makes a manager a good manager?
That's a very good question. I would say conflict resolution, right? That's, you have to be able to communicate with other drivers. If you don't have that, you're probably not going to be a good manager. So conflict resolution, and then also holding the culture, holding accountability, then having conversation and looking at the data. It's very important. FedEx is a beautiful business because it gives you all the data you need to know about the business. Doesn't matter if you are in your terminal, in France, or anywhere else. If you can look at the data and analyze it, that's a good skill to have. That's probably top 3. Another one would be you don't have to be scared to jump in the truck whenever it's needed. I've seen where managers will do anything not to get in the truck. It's also bad. I don't think you should have 300 stops. Managers have to do that, but I would say in order to do 30, 40 stops or something like that, where it's overflown and it's busy, you keep pushing the packages to the drivers because you don't want to go in a truck. That's not going to create a good culture within the company.
And the 5th one, I would say DRO. Be able to do the DRO the proper way, because once you know your guys, once you know every single, you know how much the person can handle, you cut the route certain ways, and then you separate the bulk sometimes with a different truck.
Yeah.
You do that, I think you'll be one of the best managers.
And the DRO is dynamic route optimization. If you want to hear more about it, click on the video below, and we would love to show it to you as well.
And if you guys like this episode and you're a FedEx contractor, like and comment below. Thank you guys.